Dale Smothers is with us, President, CEO of RDS Wealth Management. Dale, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Good to be here, Nicole, yeah.
Nice to see for folks the tech trade back, the crypto trade. What do you make of it? We're up 6 of 7 days. What do you think is the market's mindset these days?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of profit taking, Nicole. Clearly, there was this profit taking all the way into November. What we call the September and October series of time is typically what we would consider it to be financial winter. It wasn't a very cold winter in September and October. The market continued to climb higher on the backs of AI. We saw this profit taking going into November. I think we saw the bottom of that trade in November the 20th. The bottom at around 6,500 on the S&P 500. We saw a lot of these names, AI names, sold as much as 30 and 40% off of their highs. I think it's all up from here through the end of the year, Nicole, and you want to be a part of this AI trade as it starts to rebound.
Yeah, and that's around the time that also crypto went to the lowest at around 80,000, and it's at 91 or 92,000. So the appetite for risk, or at least some risk, is back. You've liked these tech names for some time, right? I mean, if you weren't in tech or you thought they were too frothy, you missed it, right?
You missed it.
And now I'm starting to read how people have FOMO. They're thinking that there's, with the quantitative now tightening ending, that there's going to be more money flow. Are you saying, like, get into tech now?
Get into tech now.
Even between now and maybe a Santa Claus rally?
Yeah, Santa Claus rally. Where is Santa Claus is what we're asking over the first 2 days of the market trading here in December. But the reality is, I believe right now is a perfect time for someone who's long-term focused on AI or technology to get into some names that are at these steep discounts. Consider it a Black Friday sale that will not last throughout the end of the year. Get into those names now. Things like Palantir, things like Nvidia. I like CoreWeave here. I like APLD, Applied Digital. I like these names for the ability to see upside potential, and it's actually a lot more upside potential than it is right now. Downside risk because of the way they've been sold off, Nicole.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, Tim Cook has been intensifying the focus on AI. As you're talking about this, we know there's the big battle of ChatGPT versus Gemini 3. ChatGPT team, really putting out the code red, right? And the CapEx spending doesn't stop. If they stop it, then the whole thing falls apart.
This is true.
So even though it's unprecedented and we don't really know how it plays out, they have to keep spending, right? So do you believe they'll keep spending and that'll power a boom of some sort?
This is the divide between, are you team OpenAI or you team Google here? The thing is, Google has the ability to spend. They have a balance sheet that will provide them cash flow to spend. OpenAI, not nearly as profitable. They hope to have cash flow. They hope to be positive in their cash flow. But the reality is Google is going to continue to spend. I think OpenAI continues to spend. Hopefully, in this trend for OpenAI and Nvidia continues. The thing is,
this is all of them that they're all going to keep spending.
Continue to spend.
Right?
They've got to continue spending. What I'm focused on is taking possibility and turning it into profit. The first time that a company begins to do that, that's the company that we want to be trading at that point in time.
And what about a low beta choice? I know you had NDEC there.
Yeah, I love this NDEC play. If you like AI, but you want low beta or low volatility in your portfolio, this provides us an options package. This is an ETF that provides us an options package around the Qs. We have 15% protection, Nicole, on the downside. So this means if the market over the next 12 months is down 20%, if the Qs are down 20%, you're down 5%. It caps our upside at around 15.5% this next 12 months. But this is a powerful place to put some money if you like low beta.
So if the triple Qs gain 17%,
you're
do you get 15%?
You get 15. That's
if
exactly
the triple Qs gain 20%, you're up 15%.
That's right. That is
so
exactly
it's not like rated or something how far away from something.
Right.
So
if we're up 10, you get 10.
Right. Exactly, makes sense. And then there's other areas. I want to get to the metals and utilities. I'll leave the metals for last because that's such an exciting story what's been going on. What about utilities?
Yeah, utilities. One thing that AI needs even more than demand is power. If it doesn't have the power, then it doesn't matter. AI, data centers. I think a utilities play here gives you that low beta of utilities names, a good dividend payer. Statistically, utilities is a place that you go whenever you just want a retirement-like portfolio, but it has upside potential that we haven't seen in utilities in quite some time because of the need for power from artificial intelligence.
And that's what we keep hearing. Last but not least, we talk about what's been going on with gold and silver and copper. I know gold's down $45. I could see it there on the big board, but we haven't seen all three of those, this trifecta of new highs since 1980. At that time, they were saying they were worried about geopolitical risks. There were things. Why is everybody running to gold and silver and copper?
Yeah, I mean, gold, silver, and copper are going to benefit and continue to benefit from lowering interest rates. These lower interest rates at the banks mean that money's got to go play somewhere. I think this defensive play of gold, silver, copper is going to continue to be the benefactor of that. Silver has a secondary benefit to it from the AI trade, from technology. Silver is needed in building these pieces of technology, these chips. Silver is a high demand there. Global demand for these precious metals is going to continue. And I think if you trade this name, Nicole, you might actually be able to benefit if geopolitical uncertainty creeps back into the overall market.
How important is the Fed cut to you?
Yeah, I think the Fed cut's important, very important. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's much upside for the market from a Fed cut as much as there is downside risk. If the Fed decides to come out and pause, we see the market sell off because it's not going to like that. And I just don't see that in my forecast. So I think the Fed comes out with a 25 basis point cut here. I think that cut continues even into 2026 as we see a new Fed chair appointed. Like you said, I think quantitative easing is the next big thing that we're coming to.
And we're not, we thought maybe we'd get the Fed chair by the Christmas holiday, but now I was reading it may not come till the new year, and it's not Scott Bessent.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I got out of some of the headlines I was reading. Last but not least, you did talk about some other sectors, healthcare, financials. Are you interested in those or not so much?
I love the healthcare and financials. I think what I like about that is the fact that it's broadening out into those areas. I'd like to see it broaden out into the consumer discretionary as we go into 2026. If we have a broadening out into consumer discretionary, continued broadening in financials and healthcare, and we see this rebound of AI and technology, 2026 all uphill in my opinion. I think you want to be a part of this economy over the next 2 to 3 years as the U.S. economy becomes again the number one global economy to be a part of. You want to be in the U.S. and I know it's underperformed against maybe some of your foreign ETFs, and you look at the global picture and U.S. is a little bit lower in the S&P 500, but right now I think rebounding in the AI trade, staying broad in your sectors in the S&P 500 is going to provide you a great amount of upside.
Of these names, we have to go, but of these names, which one's your favorite? Which are you most excited about of the ones you listed?
Of the ones I listed, if it's me, for my clients, they want conservative approach. I think that NDEC is a perfect opportunity to take part in the AI trade and not risk nearly as much money on the upside.
Dale Smothers, thank you for joining us here on the show today.
Always
great to see you. Really appreciate it.